Sorry, I'm late.
You napping?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Guessing you're gonna be the acting chair?
Oh, am I?
I don't know. Unless someone else wants to do it.
You're already sitting in the right spot.
Last one here.
Yeah.
Guess I should have been on time, huh?
Yeah, we took a vote.
All right, I'll call to order the Harbor Commission meeting of October 13th, 2021 at 6:12 p.m. And yeah, approval of the agenda.
Make a motion. Approve the
Second.
agenda.
Do we have to do roll call first?
Oh yeah, call to order. I guess roll call first.
Jake Betts. Andy Craig. Max Weiss.
Here.
Ken Jones.
Here,
Mike Baddock.
Here.
I believe that constitutes a quorum.
Yep.
All right, now approval of the regular agenda. So
Make a
voice.
motion to approve the regular agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, hearing none, the agenda is approved. Next, we have the approval of the minutes.
Move to approve May 12th and August 11th regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Can I ask for unanimous consent or, like, hearing no, or, okay, I'll ask for unanimous consent on approval of the minutes. Any opposed? Okay, hearing no opposition, I believe those pass. Communications by visitors, audience comments regarding agenda items.
Hey guys, I'm Curtis Fincher. It's Christiana Fincher. We live at 323 First Street, and I'm commenting on agenda item 5A. I'll try to keep it brief. First, I understand the existence of that building is incompatible with your long-term vision for the North Harbor. The 2014 Harbor Master Plan suggests that space would be better served by airplane float, additional grid, or additional slips. And it lists the year 2034 as a target date by which to have constructed one of those to replace that building. A fourth use not listed in the Harbor Master Plans, potentially a floating fuel dock, which I'm sure will be discussed tonight as well. On that, I'll say from an outsider's perspective, it seems like those Shoreside's contribution there could be leveraged alongside federal funding if it was bundled in a more comprehensive North Harbor rebuild to reduce Shoreside's construction costs and to bring more total money to Cordova. It would also allow for more time for community planning and vetting, which that project at the moment lacks. So my real pitch for all of you is that our short-term use of that building needn't be incompatible with your long-term vision of it, because we are flexible. We're trying to get a foothold as a business. It's an awesome location, and there's a window of time, I think, where we can occupy it when you guys won't have the money to do anything with it. Construction slated to begin on the South Harbor probably next year. The exact amount of funding's unknown at this time, I suppose, but it's probably a 3 to 4 year project. And so I'd ask each of you to think about realistically what the soonest construction could begin on the North Harbor after that is, and when those funds would be aligned to begin on it. I think from our end, ideally with a 7-year lease and first option on year to year after that, we could totally make that work, so that we could recoup our improvements in that building that will need to brew there, and ideally build sufficient equity in that time to turn around and build a second brewery in Cordova at the end of 7 years. So I'd like to underline that as a potential length of time that you guys can ask yourself if you'll be doing anything with that space in that time span. And lastly, we want to have a business in the harbor or near the harbor because the harbor's the heart of Cordova. That's because fishing's the heart of Cordova. You guys largely serve at the behest of this community's fishermen. And I'd just like to note that I think this business, due to its location, would disproportionately serve fishermen. After a long day spent working in your engine room, you can come up, have a cold beer. Moms with little kids could sit on that deck and watch for their dad coming back from an opener on the flats across the inlet. I think it could be something really cool, really special and good for town. So there it is. I look forward to learning from all you guys tonight, hearing what you have to say about this potential use. I'd also like to just thank the community for the positive feedback and potential excitement we've received on it so far. Thank you.
Any other communication by visitors? Anybody on the phone or anything? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to Harbor Master's report. Tony?
So just quickly through some of these things, as you can see, we got a bunch of pile hoops from Peterson's Welding, some end brackets. Took a while to get them because, as we all know, there's a shortage of just about everything being delivered around here and everywhere else. 116 lifts so far this year. Got another one on Friday. I imagine we were going to get more than that, but it's not a bad number right now. So, and we're keeping up with it, doing the best we can. Some of the high notes, as you can see, the used oil, what we collected, 13,875. We delivered around 6,000 gallons between the high school and the city shop. Now the winter's here, we'll start burning a lot more, which is a good thing. Wilson's Construction is replacing bull rails on the ocean dock right now. We're going to do as many as we have. I think we have, 8 30-foot 12 by 12s. They're going to do what they can, and then we'll just order some more for next year and do some more again. So get those changed out. And they're redoing the concrete where the bolts have been pulled out. And then we got to replace that gate that Sampson uses, a big steel beam. So we haven't decided if we're going to use another 12 by 12 or we're going to do another steel beam. But Sampson said they have a steel beam for us if we wanted it. So
It used to be wood, I remember, before they put that steel beam in.
yeah, that was before me. So
When Tuscaloosa was here, they had that put in there.
yeah, there's another opening down a little further. That's for the ferry. Let's see. Security for Sampson. We hired a new employee, just started on Monday, I think it was. So we're get him right into things, doing rounds and everything. We'll see how he does. I think he'll do well.
That's not like a replacement for Jason. That's
No,
just-
that was Butch West's position.
Okay.
So,
Butch retired?
what's that?
Butch retired, or?
Yeah,
100 years ago?
yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a skiff in the backyard, and let's see. Steelhead and Hannah Cove, we got quotes from 2 people on removing those this winter. And let's see, council meetings. And then as you can see on the bottom is 7 cruise ships planning right now to come in next year. Small,
Small ones.
100 people, 50 people, whatever, but yeah. So I think most of them are the same company, but 7 visits.
The uncruise?
Uncruise is not till, they're talking next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is, I can't remember the name of it now, but so,
Stan Stevens, or?
No.
Oh.
I can't remember. It's a weird name. It's just a funky name, but yeah, so I think most of those are the same company, but just.
Are they going to be able to
visits.
fit in the harbor basin, or are they going to be littered?
They'll be lightering in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then one thing I didn't put on is still waiting to hear about the grants we've submitted. So hopefully we'll hear maybe one of them by the end of this month, if we get it or not. So yeah, so we haven't heard anything else on the federal grants that we put in for, so.
No, I keep on asking, but.
Have we heard on
We have
the,
5 on our state grant.
Yes, we have till December on the state grant to sign.
have we heard from the EDA people?
We haven't even submitted yet, we're still waiting on them. So, yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's definitely in the works, but yeah, there's been no movement, so. And I think that's it, unless, any questions? Oh, we did secure water today, we got it all winterized, so, all the ducts, and then we'll put the hose in over on G-Float like it usually is, if they haven't already done it today. But I know they got unlaid on the north side, so.
Nice. Have you had many applicants for Jason's position?
Couple, but one, I haven't convinced him to move from Ketchikan yet. And a couple others, they wanted to, and then they just was like, no communication there. So I don't know.
Okay.
And that's it, unless you got any questions or any other questions?
Thank you, Tony. Okay, moving on to new business. 5A, letter of interest for Lot 2, Block 7A, Tidewater Development Park. So we're just having a discussion on this?
Yeah,
Or
discussion,
Are they looking for a recommendation?
Yeah, I mean, if we can get a concurrence or what you guys think or whatever, but the biggest thing was just to bring it up. It was short notice. I was doing the packet and came out, so I figured throw it in there because there's a discussion on what we want to do with that building or what the city should do with it, I should say. So, but yeah, just informational if you want to discuss it, and concurrence that you like the idea, don't like the idea, whatever. And if, I don't know if planning really wants in a resolution, we could do one for next meeting or,
Yeah, I mean, so this was introduced at planning commission yesterday, and they just had a general discussion about it because they wanted to refer it to harbor commission for your recommendation before it goes back to them for their recommendation. So.
So I guess procedurally, should we have a motion to direct staff? I mean, how does that work?
I know in the past we've
To
just.
have
we've-
discussion, you have to have a motion on the floor, right? So,
Well, the discussion, I guess, I mean, procedurally, I don't know 100% on that one since it's not a resolution or anything that we're passing. In the past, we have just gave concurrence that we agree with, we did it with DMI. And I think we've done it with Jerry's was the same way, it was concurrence that we like the idea to move forward and see where it goes.
We'd like to see a resolution.
Yeah, if
Along
it does,
these lines of
if
next
things
meeting.
change or get a lot bigger or whatever, I think as we get towards the final, we'd like to, maybe we'll do a resolution or,
The only question I
I can
have
go to the planning too, and see what they say and just bring it back, so.
is how long before they move out of that building?
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what they're talking, they brought that up in the letters that once they've left, that we're not kicking the science center out tomorrow and be like, hey,
Well, that's what I mean.
you guys got to pack your stuff up and go, so,
'Cause
yeah,
we had 3 years, is what we gave
yeah.
them, isn't it?
So, I don't,
It's a yearly renewal,
Now, okay,
and so, yeah, their lease has officially, the full lease has expired, and now they're renewal.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so that just goes year to year. I reached out to them today to let them know that people are starting to ask about it and just reassure them that we're not looking to kick you out. I just want to start the conversation with them about when do you think you're going to be leaving? What's that exit plan look like?
Yeah,
And so I'm waiting to hear back from them on that still. But yeah, the planning commission is, their recommendation to the council wouldn't be to, sign a lease with them or anything, because obviously we can't do that yet, but most likely the council would do a request for proposals so that the community at large would have a chance to submit a proposal for what they would like, if they have something that they'd like to go in there. And if the council chooses one of those, there'd be some sort of a contract that would be entered into that they just have that person has the first chance to sign a lease once it becomes available, when the science center moves out. So ultimately, the commission would like to see a recommendation in whatever form you want to provide that, of what your thoughts are on it and how you would recommend that, whether or not it should be considered as the next use.
well, I mean, I think it's awesome. For a long time, we've talked about how, what the plans are for that corner, and I've for a long time said I really don't want to see us tear out any infrastructure because it's so expensive to replace it. So, I mean, I've said that I'd rather see the floating fuel dock go where, you know, there was another lease, and unfortunately it didn't go that way. You know, I see it as a pretty good use of the spot, really. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on it? I might have to start drinking again.
You gotta try the beer first.
I think it's a good idea, you know, use of that building, you know, but I'm almost positive we won't see any action on anything for 7 to 10 years anyway. I mean, this is, even we get the grant, it's gonna be a year and a half or so before we can get started on it. Get the engineering and all that stuff done, it takes time. It's like the Science Center, they were gonna get it done in 1 year, and I said, you better go for 3, because you're not even done in 3, so,
Yeah, I think it was 7 years ago.
yeah. So, things take a lot longer than you think.
Yeah,
I think it's a good use.
I think it would be a good idea, and I like what they were saying about just wanting, you know, to do a 7-year lease and then year to year after that. So if something new does come up, or there's some new ideas, or people decide that there's a different use that they want for the space, that would still be an option in the future too. So it seems like it's a pretty doable thing.
Yeah, I understand, you know, you gotta have some time to pay for stuff, you gotta have at least, you know, 7 or 10 years or something, to at least get enough to pay for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't want to see us move in the direction of selling the property, but as far as a shorter term 7-year lease, you know, I could definitely support that. I would be interested to see what kind of timeline Shoreside is looking at for wanting to put in their floating fuel dock, but
They haven't sent a letter back.
they've sent multiple letters over the last 7 years, and they've even come in and
With no
talked to us.
plans, they just said interest, we wanna do it.
Right,
no
but there hasn't been a property available for them to submit plans. You can't draw up engineered plans until you have a location in mind, and right now the city hasn't really played ball with them, so. Yeah, I guess that would be, you know, if the city went through their RFP process, then Shoreside could submit a proposal.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee 99% that the council is going to do an RFP. They're trying to move away from direct negotiations, and because they want everyone to have a chance to. So there'd be plenty of noticing, and I'm sure word would spread to them. And so then, you know, Curtis and Christiana and Shoreside and anybody else that has a plan could.
What was the lease that got negotiated with the Forest Service dock? Is that finalized? I mean, we talked about it
We're still,
last spring.
we're still working on it right now. We just got red lines back from them on what they'd like to see in the lease and parts that they don't like in the lease. And that's actually at legal right now being reviewed to see what of that we can accept and what we can and what we can modify. So it's still going back.
Do you know how long the term for that is going to be, or is that still being negotiated too?
It's being negotiated. They're requesting, I don't remember off the top of my head, but they want a long-term lease, like 20 plus years.
Of course they are.
So, but the final terms haven't been decided on that.
So if they went out to RFP for that building, would it have to be for that building, or could it be for that area?
I mean, the city owns the whole space. We can lease as little or as much of it as we want. So it doesn't have to necessarily be for the entire space. Someone could propose that they just want a portion of space. Because I'm, you know, we can set up that way. It basically just in the contract would say that of this parcel, you're leasing X area.
But you basically it'd be the whole building, though.
Well,
One lease,
I
right?
guess I was thinking if like we asked Shoreside if they want the building, they may not want the building, they may want
Yeah, but-
the area as opposed to,
Mhm.
so if we write up the RFP that only the building, then they're out of that game.
Yeah, there might be a way to put a dock and still keep the building there too.
Yeah, but every fill up, you get a growler.
Put ramp right up. Hey, that's all I'm saying. I have to start drinking again.
Yeah. Yeah, or every growler, you get an extra 10 cents off your gallon of gas, or, I don't know.
Well, it's like, you go into Valdez and you got a fuel dock right next to a bar and a hotel right up on the uplands. So, you can sometimes be flexible, try to fit both projects into that corner somehow. So I guess, it says they're looking for a recommendation to city council. Like I said, entertain a motion for a recommendation.
Make a recommendation that we send an approval for their idea on the lease of that area down. It's lot, Sub Block 7A.
Maybe like have staff draft something for us to approve at the next meeting, or do we want to have a special meeting to approve this so they don't have to keep waiting? I mean,
What you want to do? You tell me. If you want a special meeting or just,
The next planning commission meeting is on, November 9th. I don't know if you meet before then or not.
Rose meet day after you guys. Always works out perfect.
I don't know if I can check with them and see if they want an official recommendation or just, meeting minutes or something, and then my summary from being here works for them. And if not, then, you guys can discuss possibly a special meeting, or it'll just have to get pushed out.
Yeah. So I know it would life before has asked for like the minutes of what we talked about, the summary, and planning has been good with that, but
I think
yeah, it's up to you guys.
I would feel most comfortable making a formal written down with a bunch of whereases, because then it's in black and white and can't be misconstrued by members of council about what we recommended and what we didn't.
But can I assume at this point you're in favor?
I am in favor of a short-term lease and it, going out for an RFP process, but I like this project. But I don't want to see them go lease it out for 30 years or something, because we do have plans, but we don't have the money to tear that dock out and replace it with anything right now. So
Yeah, be good use of the space.
I think so in the short term. Yeah. And, I really want to see a floating fuel dock in the harbor too, but in my opinion, we missed our chance for the best location.
Yeah.
So will you like a resolution of approval for a special meeting? Or would you like to we can wait what he's and us and email you guys?
Yeah, depending on what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not like it's vacant yet either, so I don't know if it really needs to be fast-tracked before the next P&Z meeting, but I'm sure that these individuals would like to get the ball rolling. So I don't want to hold them up just because of the process is so slow. I'd be willing to come in for a special meeting to vote on the formal recommendation.
We can do that.
Sounds good to me too.
Would you like to just reach out to the planning and just see what they want? But we can do that if you'd like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just anything we can do
Yep.
to support small business in this community is, obviously I'm on board with that, so.
Okay, yeah, I'll work with Kevin and we'll see what they have to say and we can draft something up and see when we can get a meeting together.
Nice. 24th. I'll be back in November.
Okay, well, I guess that kind of was both A and B in one discussion.
You can talk about what happens in 10 years or 20.
Well, and that Forest Service stuff with that, we wanted to go for, was it 5 years or something? That's what we were going on. So they
Yeah, I think we
somehow or another,
recommended-
it's getting closer to 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, exactly. That's all we can do is make recommendations. We recommended no more than, I think, 6 years or 5 years. And
Yeah.
I think it was 5 last time,
So
yeah.
it sounds like the council's going to go for 20 years or something.
yeah, well, who knows? That's what the Forest Service asking for.
Yeah.
I kind of knew that would happen, but I'm not on council anymore, so. Yeah, obviously, so I guess, yeah, for the future of that building, I don't see us being able to do anything there for at least 7 years, more like 10, realistically. I mean, I would like to see us either put in a new pier or sheet pile,
Yeah, that other project
like what
needs
we,
to happen.
like we talked about the North Fill project,
Yeah,
sheet pile the whole thing and tear out the grid and
be a
all that.
priority before those.
But we gotta get our floats fixed
Right.
first. So if we can help, we'll see what all the different proposals are, but if the city can in any way help a business get started, I think that needs to be fostered. I mean, we're losing small business in our town and we need to try to get some back, so. Yeah.
I don't know with the old business or still in this business, but on the floats we're putting money into to fix and stuff, none of them are gonna be the ones tore away when we rebuild the harbor.
Say that one more time?
The floats we're putting money into, we're not gonna be tearing them up when we get the new harbor in, right? Or are we?
Possibly. I mean, if we can't get rid of them, I mean, I think they did it when they did the north side, they put out RFP or something about if people wanted the floats.
No, I mean that we're
Putting
not
it
gonna
this way.
bump a whole bunch of money into the float and then next year after tear them all out.
J and K, which we're repairing right now.
Oh, yeah. No, we may.
That's what I'm wondering. He put $10,000-$20,000 into
Oh, it was gonna be a lot more than that, but
G
yeah,
float or something and then tear it out within a week afterwards. Yes.
maybe.
Well,
I
right,
don't have, we don't have a lot of choices. If the float
Yeah.
falls apart, we don't have a
Yeah,
place to
yeah.
put them.
You know
yeah,
what I mean for.
if we don't get the build grant or whatever it's called now,
The raise, yeah.
the raise, then we're not gonna be able to replace all 5 fingers, so we're gonna have to keep J and K. And
Yeah,
we can
I
replace the
understand
rest.
that.
And,
I mean, fix those, but if you put a lot of money in the other ones, you won't, it's
yeah,
taken out from stuff. That's all I was wondering.
yeah, okay, so anything else for new business? All right, moving on to old business, there's nothing on the agenda.
Nope.
Okay, moving on for miscellaneous business. Okay, back to audience participation. Invite members of the public to come up and speak again if they want. Okay, commission comments and future agenda items. So I'll just start with you, Max.
Yeah, I like the idea of being used to that building. It's gonna be a while before we ever get down that area. I don't think we're gonna tear it down at what it's gonna cost. And if they can use it, and if everything works out with the planning commission and council, I guess, I'm fine with it.
Mike?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome use of that space. Good for the town to start up another new business here. And yeah, I'm anxious to, hopefully we'll start hearing some stuff on our grants for the harbor replacement. And yeah, that's all that I have.
Okay, yeah, so I guess my comments would just pretty much be along the same lines. Yeah, realistically, we're not gonna be able to do anything with that space for a while, so I think this would be awesome interim use. I don't see the science center being ready to move out for at least another year either, though, so.
I think that's their plan, another.
Yeah, the initial, well, at least word on the street, late summer, early fall, so September-ish possibly.
Mhm.
But that's why I reached out to them and get some more formal conversation.
Yeah, but, I think a brewery would be awesome for the town. As far as future agenda items, I would like to see us in this budget cycle coming up, talk about including an expenditure for adding another ramp next to the existing one by the 3-stage. We talked about that a little bit at our previous meetings, so see if we have the money for that and just put it in the budget to get that project started. And also more electrical pedestals down by the shipyard. We've talked about that. Just, see if we can just put it somewhere in the budget and just make it happen and keep getting some improvements around our working waterfront area. And yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. So with that, we need a motion.
Move to adjourn.
I second it.
And all in favor? Aye.
Hey.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thanks.
I got another question. That drops off right there. We're thinking of putting that other.
What was, I mean,
Yeah, we'd have to,
where were we at with the new, stuff on the three stage? That's in the works to start happening, isn't it?
Yeah, Pacific States Marine Fisheries or whatever, the same place that gave us our checks, never gave the city the check.
Oh, so that's what, that's the holdup on it. Okay.
$627,000 the city never.
Oh, they're just holding
They're
now?
holding it.
Just making